gets open for three. Dagger!
And welcome back to Well Beyond the Arc. We are back a little bit late, but we are bringing you guys more basketball. As always, it is another great week. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, David. David, how's your week going so far? We might be having some technical difficulties. Oh, we might be back. Hold on, sorry. How's your week been so far?
Oh, are we?
We might be having some issues right now, but kicking off the week, we always get started with our good, bad, and ugly for the week. So we are going to start this show with a little good, bad, and ugly. Starting for this week, David, what is your good for this week's show?
Are we okay? Are we good? Can you hear me?
Sorry. Yeah, can you hear me
Things
now?
have been.
Now you're good. Now you're good. Can you hear me
I
too?
can. I can. Okay.
Okay. Okay, we're good now. Sorry. First of all, you know what? Now that we can hear each other, how's your week going? Let's start there.
We should be good. Good. Maybe. Okay. Is it me? Is it? I don't know if
I
it's me.
think it is. I think I'm not sure. I think it is. But I think we're good now. Maybe, perhaps.
Oh.
It's better it
Okay.
starts at the beginning of the show. It's
I
okay.
hope so. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So good.
We
Good.
should
Good.
be good
Well,
now.
obviously, you have to. Obviously, you have to begin with Lakers, cause. Okay. I hope so. Well, yeah. What was I say? I have to begin with Lakers, obviously, cause they're in a tier. What was it? 11 of their last 12, something like that. Six in a row. I mean, bear in mind that the result might be skewed, but because one of those games was against Washington, and some have been really terrible. But no team is a scrub. No team is a scrub. So I have to give shout out to the Lakers and playing good basketball. Basketball defense has tightened up. I think I saw about us being second or third in defensive rating in that stretch of games. So we're talking about close to like, I don't know how far back we're talking about. Close to when we beat Boston. When you play Boston, that Saturday we played Boston. I would beat them. So close since that day. Just been on a tear lately. So, oh no, that was the day we also traded. No, that wasn't the day we traded. I just need to back. But yeah, that has been
Definitely. I mean, that
my good.
the Lakers being your
So
good
in a
is
row.
not
11 in the last 12. So yeah, can't complain of it.
well, no, the Lakers being your good is definitely not a biased pick because the Lakers have been playing extremely good basketball. And this dates back to before we even had Luca on the court. Obviously, Luca made his much anticipated return last night. I am on like a couple of Facebook groups and I've seen some people being like, it was such a terrible trade. And I'm like, first game back from an injury. He hasn't played in about 6 weeks. And honestly, his impact and what we saw on the court outside of scoring just proves that this is going to be successful. So what did he score 20 plus points, 25? No, but the team just looks better. And I'm not going to give all of the credit to us getting Luca. You said this last episode. Shout out to JJ Redick. JJ Redick, in my personal opinion, has to be someone in the running
Yeah.
for coach of the year just because he's turned and maybe he's not going to win it. Maybe that is a biased thing that I'm just said. But in my personal opinion, he came and turned this team around and we look like a way different team. We could not shoot a three. I mean, we could shoot a three, but we would miss it. We couldn't make a three to save our lives for the last like 3 seasons. And the last 6 games, we have looked lethal from three. Last night, other than Luka had a very rough night from three. That is not going to be a regular thing. But the team itself looks super dangerous from three. Offensively, we look a step above where we were last season and even at the beginning of this season. And defensively, I think we look better. I think we have really, really good potential with this team as it is right now. So for me, my good is also the Lakers. That obviously some could look as a bias, but in my personal opinion, it isn't, because I mean, I think on a 6-game win streak, and like you said, some of those wins are against a team like Washington or even a team like the Warriors at this moment, or at least when we played them, wasn't as high caliber of a team. But you're talking about wins against the Knicks. You're talking about wins against teams that are in the mix, and no team is out. We're at this point of the season where every team except minus maybe the Wizards. The Wizards are the one exception to what I'm about to say. But all of these teams are still extremely active, still extremely dangerous. And so to beat them, that is a really big thing. The Clippers and the Pacers, those are playoff teams. So the Lakers are 6-0, and 3 of those games are against playoff teams. And so for me, how could that not be your good? Moving on to bad, I'm going to keep things going, as I think my co-host might be having some difficulties, but he should be joining us again once he figures them out. My bad is AD suffering an injury, specifically right when he got in. He started making an impact for Dallas, and you started being like, okay, maybe Nico was onto something. Maybe this is going to work. Towards the end of the game, AD goes down. If you tuned in last show, it's okay if you didn't, but if you did and you were watching during this part of the show where we talked about AD and those trades, AD is great until he is out. AD is impactful and monumental and top 100 all-time talent-wise until he is out. If AD stays healthy, we're looking at multiple championships for the Lakers. We're looking at, and I'm going to die on this hill, we're looking at 2 championships at least if AD stays healthy his entire time as a Laker. So my bad being AD going down is because it happened right away. Not only did it happen right away, the other side of the pendulum happened. He made an insane impact. He came out and played like he was going on an MVP like tear, even though obviously he's not winning it. It was an MVP caliber game, and then he goes down. We talked about this last show. That is the problem. That's the biggest problem with AD. He provides so much until he is out, and then there's that hole. And then you're looking at Dallas also. All of their bigs are out now. So you're looking at a plan and a idea that included AD that is now crumbling. Could it be resurrected, and still could the Mavs make the playoffs, make a run, and AD is healthy? Sure, but it's a bad start. And AD is out multiple weeks at least, and so time will tell. The hope is he just slightly, I heard it could be just a re-injury to his last injury, which that's specific. If that's what it is, that's not the worst injury. But if it's more severe, or he's out longer, or he comes in and then gets re-injured like we've seen when he was a Laker, that's a problem. So that my bad, David, as I was saying, is the AD injury. That was really disappointing, because when dude came in, I was excited to see him go off like that. So my bad was AD going down. What about you for this last week?
It has to be that though, like, cause you hit on the head. Like, they got the full AD experience, like full AD experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's crazy. That was just I can't like that. I think I'm not. This cannot be on him. I don't blame him. I don't know what's up. His body sometimes just fails. The body fails. But it was just really sad to see, because he dominated that game. I think they ended up winning the game. But he even with him leaving at the end of the third quarter, he still finished with the most points for the Mavs, right? So that was just really sad to see him, and then to hear that he's out for the full for almost isn't it definitely 3 weeks or whatever it is. That's just really bad looking. So I have to agree. I'm looking around the league and I'm like, there isn't anything bad I can think of other than that. But also something really good I have to shout out. Warriors, 2-0 with Jimmy, I have
Yes,
to shout out that. I have to shout out that that's pretty good so far. So I know with Jimmy, anything can still happen, obviously, but shout out to the Warriors. That I think that's good. Um, yeah,
definitely.
but
Shout out to the Warriors, definitely.
AD, yeah, that was bad.
It was bad because it was so good. And you said it best, bro. They literally got the full AD experience in one game. They got him going off and then they got him going down. And as a
Yeah,
Lakers fan, we had that a lot. And I'm not wishing that on anyone. And I'm rooting for AD, but it's rough to see that. And he's indefinitely out and he's going to definitely miss at least like 2 to 3 plus, if not more weeks. So even if he comes back, if he's coming back not the same player or he gets re-injured, then it's just not there. Who he is and what he does is completely, it goes out the window. So hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm hoping he comes back. It was just a small re-injury or something and he can come back and be healthy, because I saw a comment, I'll pull it back up. Mavs missed the playoffs. I think even if AD is out, they make the play in. Now making the playoffs is a different story, but if AD is in,
yeah.
they're making the playoffs and they're at least going to be a team that I think makes a few games in the first round. They're not going to be a team that gets swept. Now, if AD is out, my opinion kind of flips, but time will obviously tell. Moving on to the ugly, this is kind of a different ugly because, again, the AD thing is really the worst thing. I was going to put the connect and that trade being rescinded only because it seems like it's going to maybe become a whole thing where now the Hornets are trying to challenge it and all this stuff. But my ugly has to be the New Orleans Pelicans, because not only did they give up Brandon Ingram, which if you remember, Ingram was part of a trade that took away AD, which really was their guy until AD came to the Lakers. When you thought of AD, you thought of the Pelicans. And not only that, I've talked about this multiple times. When you had AD, Rondo, and Boogie, that was a team that had a great chance at making a run for a chip. They were possibly one piece or 1 or 2 more seasons of work of being together off of really solidifying that run. So I really think that was them at their best. Now they're at their worst, and Brandon Ingram losing that piece is a big, big, big testament to that. And then also being 1-9 in the last 10 games. What were you saying?
If 2 seasons ago, was it 3 seasons ago? 2, 3 seasons ago, before, sorry to call it 2, 3 seasons ago, before Zion got injured, I think, or 3 seasons ago, they were on a tier. I think they were what, second in the West or third in the West. Something like there was this where they had an amazing run in season. Like now, it's just not it.
The fall off has been so steep because they really did make a little bit of a push and start to be a team that we talked about. So yeah, I mean, you said it best. They were literally just within the last 2-3 years a team that was in the top. And when they've all been healthy, they've been that team. We've seen them go on runs throughout the season where they've looked great. It's when one player goes down, 2 players goes. That's been the whole thing. Health destroyed that team, and now Brandon Ingram is in Toronto, and he is definitely seemingly happy. He signed an extension. He's going to probably be there for a while, and Toronto can build around Ingram.
3 extension, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely Toronto is looking at Ingram as that future piece to build around. And I think that's a great, I mean, Toronto kind of got away with not a steal, but a little bit, because that's a really good player to have as a player. I think players will want to play with Ingram, and I think they'll be able to build a team around him. So I think Toronto got away with a little bit of robbery there. And I think the Pelicans, it shows that their direction is all over the place. So my ugly is the Pelicans, and that 1-9 streak. I mean, being 1-9 in your last 10 games and losing a key player in Ingram, that's got to be ugly. So that's my ugly. What about you? What are you thinking for ugly this week?
My ugly is a good type of ugly. Stay with me now.
Okay.
Denver. Denver on a mission. Currently they hold the longest winning streak right now in the NBA. They're on a mission, and no one is talking about them. Like I watch a lot of mainstream television, right? Mainstream TV, so ESPN, Fox, all these guys. I only heard Denver once in the past 2 weeks or so, and that was like, what team do you want to make a trade but haven't made a trade? And that was Denver. They made no trade. They made nothing. They have the longest winning streak in the NBA. They are beating teams by an average of 20. That's crazy. Shout out to Denver. So I was just ugly. I know it's actually talking about it. Everyone's like, okay, see this, okay, see that. But no, it's talking about Denver. I don't know why that is, but like that's just yeah. I just want to shout out Denver.
I guess one might say Joker is playing pretty good, and they're starting to go on a run and heating up. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the MVP. Maybe my MVP claim is a little more valid after the last.
It's still SGA. It's still
That's
SGA.
exactly what I said. I said Denver was going to go on a run, but it's okay.
But it's still SGA is still the
SG. I mean, they're 43 and whatever, so they're like 8 games ahead or something. So they're still by far the best team in the West. But that is a good ugly because I mean Denver's playing extremely dangerously, and I am actually going to watch Lakers Nuggets in less than 2 weeks, like I'm not sure how many days in Denver, and I'm a little scared because Denver's looking super dangerous, and we do not have a player that can stop Joker. That's one thing, but I will also say
we just signed that
Davis,
center.
who
Which former King center Lance.
We did? The Lakers did?
Something that just did. I just saw that like before you hopped on here.
Let's go. I didn't see that. That's amazing. We needed that.
Yeah.
We really needed that. So never mind. You know what? I feel confident. Let's go, Denver. I'm ready. I'm gonna be wearing the Lakers jacket with all the championships on the arm and everything. We'll see if anyone doesn't like that too much. But this should be fun. Denver's a good environment and it is really competitive. What's up, Ryan? It's nice to see you, man. Thanks for hopping on. We're gonna move on and we're gonna talk about really All-Star break is coming up. All-Star weekend is coming up. But before that, the one game that I'm looking at, and really it's two teams that are decently hot because the Mavs, despite dropping a pretty big game, have been decently. They've been playing better. They're kind of on the rise. So tomorrow, I believe it's tomorrow. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. I think it's Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
We've got Warriors. We've got 2 games actually that we're going to talk about. First one is Warriors, Mavs. Second one is Clippers, Grizzlies. Clippers and Grizzlies are 2 teams within the top 6 that are fighting to see who's going to be in that top 3-4 spot by the end of the season. But the Mavs and the Warriors are on the other end of that, and they're actually sitting around between 7 and 9. So looking at the Warriors, bro, you shouted them out already. Since the Jimmy Butler trade, they're undefeated. Now, they haven't played that many games, but the games they have played, they have looked exponentially better on both sides of the ball, in my personal opinion. And so I think the Jimmy Butler trade, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, yeah, they're going to go on a run. They're going to be – but I think that the Jimmy Butler trade definitely gave them a little bit of life that they did not have before, and it could help them get up to maybe a 6 seed. I don't see them being a 6 seed by the end of the season, but I see it having potential and battling back and forth with another team for that spot. And that being said, the Mavs are obviously missing bigs. They're missing a super big piece and big in Anthony Davis. So I've got the Warriors winning. I think the Warriors are going to stay hot, and I think the Warriors are going to continue on that run and be 3-0. And then I believe that's their last game before All-Star break. So they'll be 3-0 going into All-Star break. And a lot can happen when you have momentum coming out of All-Star break. So I think the Warriors beat the Mavs. I think it's going to be close. I'm not going to sit here and say the Warriors run away with the game. I think it's going to be like a 6-10 point win for the Warriors, but I've got the Warriors winning. What about you, David? Do you think the Warriors come out on top and continue their success with Jimmy Butler? We may be having oh, there we go. What are your thoughts on the Jimmy Butler? Do you think they've got what it takes to beat the Mavs tomorrow?
I mean, they have a back-to-back, so they play the Mavs Wednesday and then they play the Rockets Thursday. Do I think they'll beat? Yeah, so do I think they'll beat the Mavs? I think it's that game's anyone's game. I think that's anyone's game, to be honest. I'll call it what it is. I think that game, any team, any of them two could actually, because they're both injury plagued. Some of them are both undersized. So, yeah, I don't really, I don't want to give anyone. Obviously, I'll as if I'm going to say who should win, I'll probably lean more towards the Warriors because they're riding on that whole Jimmy vibe. So I will lean more towards the Warriors, but it's anyone's game. I think it's anyone's game. It's not. It's too close to call. I think it's too close to call. Uh,
So you said Warriors play
yeah.
Mavs, then they play the Rockets?
So yeah, Warriors.
Okay, so well, if the Warriors,
And then they play Rockets on Thursday. Yeah.
okay, so they do play. So in that case, I don't think they beat the Rockets. I think the Rockets outsized them a bit. The Rockets were injury ridden last I looked. I don't know if they've got some players back, but I think the Rockets beat the Warriors. So if we're talking next two games, I think the Warriors probably go 1-1, win one, lose one, and go into the All-Star break 3-1. Looking at Grizzlies and Clippers, these are two teams in the top 6 right now. Grizzlies are currently sitting in second, but it's definitely not comfortably. Clippers, I believe, are 5th. And so looking at these two teams, I think the I don't know. Here's what I'll say about the Clippers, and this might be a hot take. I actually think the Clippers are a better team without Paul George, and maybe that's not a hot take. I think James Harden has been able to play a brand of basketball that we've seen from him before, a very, I don't want to say retro, but we've seen more Rocket Harden than we've seen in a while on this team. And Kawhi obviously has not been healthy, hasn't been consistently in, but when Kawhi has been in, he's been able to participate and definitely contribute at least a little bit. But this team, in my opinion, looks way better post Paul George, getting rid of Paul George. I don't want to say getting rid of, but you know what I mean. So I think this Clippers team is better, and I think this Clippers team is going to be a team that remains within the, like, I don't think they're going to be a play-in team. I think they'll be 6th is the lowest they might. But could they be 7th or 8th? Maybe. But I don't see them beating the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are second right now, and they're second for a reason. They've played a really consistent, very physical basketball. So I think the Grizzlies handle business against the Clippers, but I want to give the Clippers a little shout out. We don't want to give them too big of a shout out on this show, but I'll give them a little bit of one because they definitely have, in my opinion, been playing a more exciting, more consistent style of basketball since the Paul George era, and I think they'll be a better team in the postseason for it. So the problem is health, and the Clippers are a team that, like many other teams right now, are riddled with health situations, and they have been. So I'm going Grizzlies. I believe that's the same day. I believe that's a Wednesday matchup as well. When you're looking at Grizzlies, Clippers, do you like that? Who do you like in that matchup?
Grizzlies. I'm not even going to think twice about this one. I think it's the Grizzlies. I think the Clippers. They're a good team. Don't get me wrong. They're a good team, but I think the Grizzlies are just better. I think I think this again another. So these two teams, Grizzlies and Denver, those are the two most slept teams on in the NBA right now. I think all season they are the two most slept teams right now. I think that's where they and everyone's sleeping Grizzlies. I think they will outlast um the Clippers. Clippers are good, but they are not Grizzly good. That's what I'll say.
Bro, that is like, you could just say that statement right there. They're good, but they're not Grizzlies good, because that is exactly right. The Grizzlies, here's the thing. Denver and the Grizzlies, I couldn't agree with you more, are two teams that are ridiculously slept on right now. And maybe it's just because of the whole hype around this Luka trade and all of that cloud, or maybe it's because the OKC Thunder are a step above the rest. But there's not enough conversation because these are two extremely competitive, aggressive teams. And we're going to talk about the second seed and who we think will end up there later on, but it could be either of these teams realistically. It could be either the Grizzlies or the Nuggets in the second seed. I'm sitting here saying OKC is comfortably in first and will remain in first, but the second seed and down is up for grabs. So you said it best. They're good. They're not Grizzlies good. And Grizzlies and the Nuggets are two extremely slept on teams. Moving on, we are going to talk about a little bit of All-Star action, All-Star weekend. Now, we're not going to waste our breath and talk about the dunk contest because we're not talking about LeBron James is in it. We're not talking about stars in the past like Dwight Howard are in it or Michael Jordan when he did it. No, the dunk contest has Mac McClung, and that's the winner of I think one or possibly two, and dude can dunk. But other than that, I looked at who's doing it and I'm like, okay, 3-point contest is a little bit better, but still it's not what it was. So
It's
we're
still
not
the same guys, though. It's still the same guys.
for who? For the 3-point contest?
Still the same guys right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm not too. Guys that with the dunk 3 pointers. Yeah, like Dame. It's still the same guys. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it is. My thing is I wish the 3-point contest had less people in it and it was just like Dame, Curry. I wish it was like that. Like it was I feel like there's like 8 people in it, and it just, to me, that is too many. But the weekend itself, they're trying a new format out with the game and doing it tournament style. And I'll start. I'm going to ask your opinion in a second. I really like that. I think it kind of adds a level of excitement and something different to the game. They've been testing out different formats, different things for the last couple seasons. Some of them have been better than others. I like a tournament. I think it encourages a different level of competition, honestly. I think we'll see – it's still going to be the All-Star game. Are you going to see insane defense? No, you don't see insane defense in the regular season anymore or in the playoffs, honestly. But you're definitely not going to see an insane like that. I don't think the defense is really going to go up a level, but I think the entire competition is going to go up a level. And I like a tournament style. So for me – I think they're doing something good looking at that and trying to make a change and make it maybe more exciting. So for me, I really like tournament style. I think, yeah, I think more players will get not playing time, because again, it's the All-Star game. That's not really what it's about. But I think you'll see more different faces on the court together. And so I really like the All-Star format. What are your thoughts? Do you think the tournament style for the game is good, or do you like other formats more?
Was it 3v3, 5v5? Was it? I forget what it is.
I believe it's 5v5. I think it's just 5v5, and it's four teams, a semifinal, and then a championship. And they drafted, so there's Team Shaq. Team
okay, yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah. I get that part makes sense. I get all that part. I don't know. Do I like it? I have to see it. It's one of those things where it's like the in-season tournament. We don't know what we're going to get into until we get into it. I think also like the tournament. Before we say anything about it, I do think it will be good, but we have to see it first. I can't just say it will be good because the players will want it. They have to want it. So if they don't, then we'll just be back here next week saying, or 2 weeks from now saying, "Oh, it was shitty." Like how All-Star has been. So I don't know. We'll see.
Like we did the last season. So I think every season when we came back post All-Star break, we've been like, well, that was as bad as it's been. So I get what you're saying. We can't really tell until you've done it, you can't really say for sure. Looking at the teams, there's Team Shaq, and it's LeBron, it's Curry, it's Tatum, it's Durant, it's Lillard, it's Harden, it's Brown, and it's Irving. And then we've got Team Kenny, which is
the
Edwards,
old guys,
Jackson Jr., Jalen Williams, Garland, Mobley, Cunningham, and Hero. And then we have Team Chuck, which this is the team that I think
the
is
young guys.
We've got Joker. We've
the
got
internationals.
we've got SGA, we've got Wemby, we've got Siakam, we've got Sengun, we've got Cat, we've got Mitchell, and we've got Trae Young. That is Team Chuck. I think that's a team with several MVP candidates and some insane depth and talent. So I think they win. And then Team Candace is the team that is the winning team from the Rising Stars is in it too. So that's the fourth team, which is exciting. I like that. I will say I do like.
Yeah.
I think they're making it exciting by giving that an extra face. But I think Team Chuck pulls it off with the MVP caliber players they have on that team and the depth. I'm giving it to Team Chuck.
I don't know. I don't know. The whole I watched the draft and I was really, it was interesting. I watched the draft. I was like, oh, Chuck, they all have a game plan. I know definitely the Rising Stars will. Well, they might, if the other guys don't come out and compete, they might just do it. So it depends. But if everyone shows up, internationals though. I'm not going to bet against Team America. I'm not going to bet against Team America. That's Team Shaq. Team Shaq is Team America. Team Barkley is the internationals, and then you have the young guns. Team Kenny. So I'm not going to bet against the old bloods of the league. So we'll see.
If AD did not get injured and he was playing, I'd give it to Team Shaq. I'm gonna be honest. That to me, that's one piece that gave. Originally, I was going Shaq because you've got LeBron, you've got AD, you've got Curry, I mean, literally, it is essentially Team America, Team USA, and you've got players that have a lot of all-star experience or just playing experience together. So for me, that team was a lock. But then with AD going down and just looking, I mean, I definitely think Team Chuck is going to come to play because you've got a lot of MVP caliber players, but time will tell. And like you said, those Rising Star guys, if those other teams don't come to play, the Rising Star guys will definitely make a run. I think they would get beat in the championship. Even if they surprise their team they play in the semis, I think the championship team would be ready to go. But either way, I think it's going to be exciting. I like what you said, going back to if we like it or not, about not knowing until we see it. This is the most optimistic I have felt about a new style of all-star game recently, but it's still disappointing because they're not doing anything to resurrect the dunk contest or to make the 3-point contest more exciting. They're just not. They're not looking at those areas at all. So I'm hoping that they eventually look at those areas, because the dunk contest and the 3-point contest, specifically the dunk contest, used to be people would just watch All-Star Weekend and the dunk contest was what people would watch. That used to be a really huge part of the weekend. So I don't know. I think that the viewership of the parts of the weekend other than just the game have definitely gone down. So I hope that they look at those at some point and see what they can do to resurrect or make them better. But time will tell. We'll obviously check back in next episode and say, did we like it, or was it literally the exact same as we've been seeing and saying? And it could be, but time will tell. Moving on, we're going to talk about a little bit of seeding, a little bit of battles, because we've already kind of talked about it on this show a little bit today, and that is the second seed in the West. I'm not going to sit here and talk crazy and say, oh yeah, the first seed is up for grabs. I would argue and say potentially you could say that in the East. You could possibly say the Eastern Conference, there's still a little bit of potential that the first seed could switch. I still think the Cavs have it. I think the first seeds are remaining for the rest of the season. The West, I'm sure about that. But anywhere you look in the West and the East, but specifically the West, from 2 to 10, there's little separation. Obviously from 2 to 6 and from 6 to 10, there's separation. But from 2 to 5 right now, there is barely any separation. Currently, the Grizzlies and the Nuggets are sitting at 2 and 3, and then you've got the Lakers at 4, and I believe it's Clippers at 5. When I sit here right now as we record this show,
yes, no, Rockets are 5.
Rockets 5, so Clippers 6.
Yes, Clippers
All right.
6, and then Minnesota, Dallas, Sacramento, and Golden State.
Okay, perfect. So Rockets sit in that fifth spot. It's all very close. They're literally Lakers are barely in front of the Rockets and barely behind, and just barely behind Denver in a lot of ways. So we're very
Lost
close.
column.
Very
Lost column.
lost column. Yeah, that's very little separation. Yeah, we're right. We're right there. Lakers have one more game against Utah, who are like 12 and 40 something. So we should be able to get one more win and stay pretty secure going into All-Star break. But again, Houston has some big games that could switch their seeding up. There's a lot of seeding changes that could happen even before we record again. But looking towards the end of the season, or even just towards like March or early April, I really, really don't think the Grizzlies stay in second. I really think the Nuggets will end up second. I think Nuggets finish second. I think my top four right now, if I was making a prediction, my top four goes OKC 1, Nuggets 2, Grizzlies 3, Lakers 4. I think that realistically, I really want to put Lakers in front of the Grizzlies, but right now I don't think that is realistic. I think the Lakers, I've got to see this team play together more. I've got to see Luka and LeBron, and I've got to see them stay healthy, not because I don't think it's going to happen, just because health is such a concern overall. If the Lakers gel and really mesh and continue their success like they had last night, but against more, t- uh, higher caliber teams, because let's be honest, Utah's one of the worst. I definitely think the Lakers could be third, but I've got the Lakers at fourth right now. So, and yes, King Cal, I did, because they're fifth, or what are they? They're already fourth right now. So it's not too far off to call them fourth, because they're sitting there right now, and I think the best is yet to come. But I definitely think the Nuggets will continue their run and finish second. I think you will see an absolute masterclass for the rest of the season. I think that's what you're going to see. So, what are your thoughts, David? Do you think that we're going to see Grizzlies continue their success and finish second, or do you think a team like the Nuggets will overtake that spot by the end of the season? And King Cal, I think the floor for the Lakers is fifth. I think they're fourth or fifth. I don't see them finishing sixth, to be honest. I don't see them losing momentum unless an injury or something crazy happens. Anyways, David, what are your thoughts? Who's second? Who's taking that seat over? Are the Grizzlies keeping it? What do you think?
No, I don't think Grizzlies are keeping, except something monumental happens to Denver and they don't. But I do see Denver winning. Because this is what I feel. Because Memphis plays Phoenix today. Then they play the Clippers tomorrow. Obviously, I have Memphis winning, beating the Clippers. But I don't. Phoenix is on and off. The Phoenix are sketchy. When they want to win, they'll win, right? So I don't know if they'll beat Phoenix. And if that happens, Denver goes above them. Well, yes, Denver goes above them, bearing in mind that they'll have more wins. You know. So I have Denver finishing second because Denver is just behind Memphis in the lost column with 2 games, right? So I have Memphis finishing second. Sorry, Denver finishes second, Memphis finishing third. Lakers, I'm going to say finish fifth. Okay, I'll say this. I want Lakers to finish anywhere that they won't have to face Denver in the first round. Any other team, bring it on. I don't care. But as long as it's not Denver, we're good to go. So, but I would say realistically, fifth. Lakers finish fifth. I don't see the Clippers finishing because Clippers cannot play ball. Obviously, I'm just tripping. Clippers can play ball. I'm just tripping. But yeah, I don't see Clippers finishing above the Lakers. Not this time. It has happened for the past 5 seasons, 4 seasons, 3 seasons maybe. Not today. Not this year. Mm-mm-mm.
I'm with you. It has happened, and it's been the sad pattern, but I don't see, not this season. We could finish fifth. That is possible. I do think the Clippers could finish fifth or sixth, but they're finishing 1 or 2 behind us, in my opinion. I mean,
yes, why not? Why not? Why to be honest? This is not about belief. This is about honesty. We know where they are right now. We know where they are right now. This is
wait,
about
if they
knowing where
finish
they. This
fourth,
is
who
not
would
us.
they play? If they finish fourth, who would they
I
play?
don't. They will have to play. I think they play Denver, right? If the standings are to fill, I don't remember how the standings work that
Yeah, and
much.
we beat them this time.
Uh,
So how about that?
Realistically, we know where we are. If we do even make it to the conference finals, it will be an amazing season. But realistically, where this team is compared to other teams, compared to OKC, compared to Denver, it might just be a stretch to say obviously the playoffs are about matchup, so we will take the matchup that will get us to the promised land. So the promised land being whenever we have to face either Denver or OKC in the finals.
Well, first of all, I'm with you, but Ryan, if you're saying this comment that we're not good enough to win a championship, compared to the Clippers and Rockets, we have a better chance of winning a championship this season than the Clippers and the Rockets. We're talking Nuggets, we're talking OKC. Those are the two teams that I can say are better than us in the West. I agree with David, but we're not going to come on. The Clippers and the Rockets do not have a better chance of getting a championship this season than us. The one thing I will say about the Rockets, they may have better depth when it comes to size and those positions in there, but we are a better team than the Clippers and the Rockets by far. We're not being homers. I'm okay. It's okay. We will see. Just the thing I will say is this. The brand of basketball the Lakers are playing right now is far better than the Clippers, and I would say far better than the Rockets. Look at our last 6 games. Look at 3 of our opponents. That's Pacers, that's Clippers, and that is Knicks, 3 playoff teams. We are definitely playing high caliber basketball. So I would say sounds like we just signed a big man right before the show. So and here's what I will say. I think we have a better chance of winning with some depth, even if that's this season, not whatever. But I think we have a better chance of winning with Luka and some depth at the 4 and 5 than winning with AD, because obviously AD is still spotty with injuries and going in and out. So, anyways, but no, I definitely think we won't finish second. I'm not going to say that. We're not going to finish third. The Lakers will be a 4th or a 5th finish in the West when it's all said and done. And then I have the Clippers being right behind them, depending on how their season looks, because they could also have a fall off. Rockets could also have a fall off. We've seen teams fall off post All-Star break. So whether that be from injuries or anything else. So time will tell. Obviously, who knows? I don't really know. Time will tell. There's a lot of competition and a lot of season left, but I definitely do think the Grizzlies will not stay in that second spot. I just think they're a good team, but they're not. The Nuggets are on a tear. So
yes, Ryan and King Carl. You hear that? You hear that? You hear that?
I don't understand. You guys, Alex Len is not for nah. You know what? Watch this. Right on. Let's look right here. Okay, well, he's, yeah. He doesn't have very many minutes. That's all I'll say. He'll get more playing time, but he does look like he provides both offense and defense. And he's going to get playing time. He's going to get minutes on the Lakers, and playing under JJ Redick and having that leadership and that guidance changes a player. Rui's a different player. Austin Reeves is a different player. So yes, you know what, Ryan? We didn't have JJ Redick last season. What was my prediction last year? I definitely didn't predict we were winning.
I can't remember that.
I don't think I predicted we were winning the championship. Maybe I predicted we were making the Western Conference Finals, and that was not or maybe I just predicted we were going to beat the Nuggets. Either way, we are a different team than we were last season. The acquisition of JJ Redick might be the biggest acquisition other than obviously Luka, but I definitely think Alex will get playing time. But I mean, again, even a player like Hayes, we have been seeing.
When did we do that? No.
When did we? Yeah, we never.
No, we never. What?
I don't remember that. Find the clip.
No, you're a tripper. No, it's okay. It's okay.
We
You're
never
a
did that.
tripper.
We never did that. I will be honest. I know for a fact. Here's what I will say.
We
I made
appreciate your comments, all, but like you're a tripper.
David did definitely never did. I will say you might need to change your phrasing and perhaps I was concerned because he had no coaching experience and I thought there were better candidates at first, but I definitely did not say it was a terrible pick. David did not. I'm saying I very well could have made a comment about being concerned about it and not being completely sure. I'm going to say 100% David did not say that though. So I will take accountability if someone said something and forgot because it makes sense if it was me, but David did not say that. So I got you, bro. Don't worry.
Thank you so much. Where are the receipts? Bring the receipts. Oh,
that's
by the way,
also what I'm saying. Bring the
well,
receipts.
we love you. Thank you so
When
much
was he
for
hired?
comments.
Because I don't think we were doing shows when he was hired, were we?
He was hired in the summer. So
We were-
except
We were
yeah,
doing
no,
shows.
yeah, you're not tripping. Exactly, bro.
We weren't even doing shows at that time.
Don't tripping, bro. Like that's crazy.
You know what? If not, thank you guys for remembering. They're real fans. Oh wait, hold on. When did? But did we do a show? I don't think we did a show about it. Though.
There might have been some internal comments about us maybe wanting Dan Hurley over Redick, but that's not. We're just saying what we prefer. Obviously, that's different. But I don't think we had a show on it. Like the DMs are different, though.
Yeah,
the DMs are different.
Show, they're saying we did a show and trashed him. I don't remember doing that. That's what I'm saying. I know we talked in the group chat, but that's not being live and saying. I don't remember doing a show and saying and trashing him. I do remember being not loving the hire. I do remember that, and I'll take it. But I don't remember being live and saying anything. But maybe I'm wrong. Either way, it doesn't matter. I know that this is turning out better than I thought, and not because I thought it was going to be terrible, but I definitely JJ Redick was a way better hire than I thought, and I will stand here and admit that it was a way, way, way better hire and pickup than I thought, and I was wrong in a lot of ways because I definitely did think it wasn't going to work. So, it may have been when he was rumored. You know what I think? I think it probably was when he was a rumored candidate and Dan Hurley was still in, because I do remember being upset about that. But either way, hey, you know what? I appreciate people watching the show and remembering our episodes from long ago. I appreciate that, or misremembering them in this case. But anyways, we're gonna move on though. And before we do our top of the hour 5, because it's an exciting one, we're talking about point guards today. We did one last year, and it's a way different list than
terrible
it
is Terrible list.
You think so?
Terrible list.
You think so?
Terrible list. Let's get on. Let's go. We need to get there quickly.
Really quick before we do that.
Yes,
do we have a way different list?
Not way different, but I just feel like you disrespected some names there. I feel there are some names that you left off that were disrespectful to the season they're having right now.
We love you guys. Don't leave. This is gonna. You know what? Really quickly before we do that, I'm just gonna say 2 teams that I think that are currently doing terrible in the East and West that I think are gonna go on a post All-Star break run. 76ers, because they're getting healthier, and with that whole team out there, they're gonna go from 11th to 6th or 7th in the East. Bet on that right now, David. Right now, write that down. It's happening. Remember this, everyone watching right now. 76ers are 11th. They're going to finish 6th or 7th when they're all healthy, because they are all healthy now. And then in the West, the Kings. If we're talking about one team that I think is going to finish higher up than they are now, I think the Kings have potential to finish 6th. Are they 100% going to do that? No. But I think there's a chance. So, 2 teams. What are your thoughts, David? I can tell you
what's going on. That's crazy. That's some mental takes right there. Oh my days. Even Golden State has a high chance. No, I think that's a valid. The Kings having, I think that's valid. Now I don't think the Kings, between the Kings, Golden State, and Phoenix, one of them is finishing outside the top 10. Let's just call it what it is. One of them is finishing out. I don't care what you say. One of them will finish outside the top 10. None of them will make it past 7th. None of them will make it past 7th. If you are talking about the West, between SAC, Golden State, and Phoenix, none of them is making it to the playoffs, and none of them is making it past seventh. So that's one. Now, if you go to the East, I think Orlando started the season pretty hot. We all know they were hot, and then they lost Polo, and then they lost Wagner. I think they will go higher than Knights. Currently, Knights, I think they will definitely go higher than Knights. I think they might just edge out Detroit for that sixth spot. So shout out to Orlando. Again, I think they are a really good ball club, and yeah,
So,
freaking
okay,
what?
so you know
Philly,
what?
Philly
it
might not even make the playoffs.
When it happens, we'll be back here. Let me think. This time next month, Philly is going to be in the top 8. This time next month, just wait. I'm calling 7th, if not already in that 6th spot, like I called. But 6th or 7th, we'll see. I like Orlando though, and I do think I saw them pull back up. Warriors are gonna go on a run. I think they very well could. I think they could go on if they finish hot going into All-Star break and come out hot and healthy. I think they could go and be a 6th or a 7th seed, but I don't see them going above that. I think they're a 6th or 7th seed, and I think that's where they stop probably. Minnesota, we can't forget about Minnesota. They're not as good as they were. Absolutely not. They're not going to be the same team they were last season, but they still could also be a team that could go on a run or at least bump, like you said, one of those other teams out. So time will tell. I do think the Kings, are they going to finish 6th? Possibly not, but you never know. They are a better team. So between one of the teams I called, it's going to happen. Just wait. But we're going to move on, and we're going to finish up our show with a little top of the hour 5, and we're going to do our top 5 point guards. This is not all time. This is currently
emphasize
right
it.
now. This season. Starting off the list, number 5, I've got Ja Morant from the Grizzlies, the second seeded Western Conference team, and he is playing great basketball. He's 4 to 5 to 6 points off of his like averaging for totals all time, like for his whatever it's called, his best percentage, but he is still playing great basketball and he is helping lead the Grizzlies. So that's my number 5. Who's your number 5?
Jesus Christ, the disrespect. Number 5, Steph Curry. Steph Curry. Steph Curry. I'm going to stick with Steph. I think Steph. I'm not going to take into consideration. I think I'm going to take into consideration where the Warriors are right now. I think it's because of he's the only reason why they are where they are right now. If not for him, they will probably be nowhere, to be honest. So shout out Steph Curry, number 5, top 5 point guards. He's not number 4 though. Tell us your number 4.
Coming in at number 4 is Steph Curry. I got Curry at number 4. He's playing good basketball, not great basketball, not his best basketball, but he's still playing good basketball and he's helping fuel the Warriors to where they're at. So I've got Curry in my number 4 spot. Who do you got at number 4?
Number 4, give me Cade Cunningham. The disrespect. He leads all. No. How do you have him? Ja has missed half the season. Ja literally has missed half the season. Oh, well, that's a stretch, but at least quarter of the season.
Big stretch. He's not missed half the season.
Yes, he is. He's quarter of the season.
He's not missed half the season because Luka's not on my list because Luka's missed.
Well, yeah, Luka's missed half the season. Ja has missed quarter of the season too.
But not half.
There's literally a like 3 weeks straight. Ja did not play no game, or 2 weeks straight. I might be wrong, but Ja's literally.
Yes, that's fine. But yeah, honorable mention. That's totally okay. I get it.
Cade Cunningham leads all guards in triple-double in the league,
and he's a good honorable mention for me.
Oh my days! The Pistons are 6th. You have him ahead of Steph, who is 10th. Doesn't that play a role? No. Anyways, I think that's kind of the only place our list changes because I think every other place you are valid, but we'll get to that. That is my number 4. Moving on, number 3. Who's your number 3?
So here's the thing. It's about player success. It's also about team success. This is a player that it's player success for me. That's Tyrese Maxey. He is on a tear this season. He's playing great basketball. And I do truly believe that they will. I'm not just trying to blow smoke or make a crazy claim. I do believe that they will go on a run. Will they finish 6th or 7th? Maybe not. I think they really will, but I don't think they're missing the play-in, and I think they're going to go on a run once they make it past the play-in. So a huge part of that is Maxey. He has really boosted his game. It was already a level very high last season, and he's kind of leveled that up even more. So that's my number 3. That's got to be Tyrese Maxey. What about you, bro?
I'm so skeptical right now. I fear I might need to move because I agree with Tyrese Maxey, but I fear I might need to move Kate Cunningham above Tyrese Maxey. I fear team wise.
If you're gonna make your point that you made to me about
team wise, team wise, I have to put Kate Cunningham at number 3. So Tyrese Maxey was originally my number 3, but I'm going to switch them and move Tyrese Maxey to number 4 and put Kate Cunningham in my number 3. I think it is well deserved. But bonafide all-star this season. I think he's been amazing. Probably one of the many reasons, and credit to Jay Bickerstaff for what he's done with that ball club over there. But the way he's come back from each, he'll probably win most improved player. I think if we're going to shout out most improved player, I think Kate Cunningham is probably up there. If there was a comeback player of the year like the NFL, I think he'll be the one to win it. So yeah, Kate Cunningham, give number 3. Who is your number 2?
Coming at number 2, I've got Jalen Brunson. Brunson has been having an insanely good season, and a lot of people were wondering at first if this was a good acquisition for the Knicks, vice versa, and this has been the best thing the Knicks have done. Yes, they got Cat, but this all started with Jalen Brunson. The Knicks coming back to relativity came back with Jalen Brunson. So shout out to Brunson. He is New York. He embodies that team in that city right now for the Knicks. So and he's statistically having a really, really good season, and it's showing for the Knicks. So their wheels have not fallen off yet, and I honestly don't think they will. They could fall off in the playoffs like they have in the last couple of seasons when they've made it that far, but I think they've got the wheels this season. So I got to go with Brunson at number 2.
I second that. I think that Brunson too, with that 2-man game with Karl-Anthony Towns, I think he's been electric. I think he's been amazing. He just keeps rising. You know, he's kept growing, and you know, I love that about him. I love Jalen Brunson as a player. I love him as a person. I love their own podcast. You know, him and Josh Hart. I love their friendship too. But that's just by the side. When we talk of on the court stuff, I think he's been electric as a point guard. Yeah, shout out to Jalen Brunson as my number 2. Well, I think we all know who number 1 is. I think we can all agree who number 1 is.
Number 1 is Chris Paul.
Damian Lillard. I thought it was Lillard.
Oh, really? Oh, Lillard? Okay, that's maybe honorable mention. But no.
Okay.
It actually has to be LeBron James, the best point guard in the league.
He is. To be honest, he is.
All jokes aside,
by the definition of a point guard, he is the best point guard in the league.
He is.
But anyways,
on a real note, team success and statistical success, it's SGA. Dude is on a level of his own. Probably could be argued, or not even argued, made a good point that he's the best.
I think he's the league offensive. He's the league MVP. Anything, nothing.
You know, I can agree with you there. I think he's definitely in the talks, but Joker's right there, and they're going on that run that I think could change the talk, and Joker's a big part. But still, SGA is the best guard by far, and I'd say the best player as of right now in a lot of ways. But time will tell. We'll obviously be back. Let us know if there is a top 5 you want us to do next week or any topic you want to hear. Just drop it in the comments. Where else can our viewers find you, David?
Yes, if you're a big fan of, I hope you all enjoyed the top 5. You also did disrespect he put on Cade's name. Detroit fans, go after him, dude. If you are into soccer, if you're into football, check out Minor Football Fans podcast. We'll be back next week. This week was a break because the league was on a break. If you enjoyed the Premier League, check us out. If you enjoy football as a whole, you know, not American football, that's done. We're talking about the actual football. Check us out, Minor Football Fans podcast. Wherever you listen to your podcast, we are there. Thank you so much.
We'll see you guys next show. Have a great week.